Should faith be enough to justify beliefs, or must we always rely on reason?
Dan, why does this concern you so much? If my faith doesn't pick your pocket or break your bones, as Thomas Jefferson said, why should you care what I believe?
Well, exactly. But let me turn that around. Why do religious people care so much about what others believe? Why do Christians care about what Muslims believe, and vice versa? To me, the real danger of religion isn't just personal belief, it's that it often gives people a gold-plated excuse to stop thinking.
To stop thinking?
Exactly. It lets people say, I don't have to think about this because my religion says so. Right is right, wrong is wrong, case closed. And we honor this mindset by calling it faith. But I think we need to stop treating not thinking as something worthy of respect. If you have faith, great. But your duty, then, is to explain to those of us who don't share it why you're right.
But what about situations like in that Presbyterian church in Austin? Some Christians denounce their minister for allowing an atheist in the congregation, while some atheists denounce that atheist for surrendering to the superstition of religion. Can you really have a meaningful dialogue between someone who says, I speak for God, and someone who says, there is no God?
Why not? If someone truly believes they're right, that their faith is grounded in truth, then they should welcome a discussion. Not a scientific test, necessarily, but a real moral and political debate. But for that to work, we have to take some cards off the table.
Such as?
The faith card. Faith alone can't be the winning argument.
What do you mean? If someone is a person of faith, they can't just separate that from their reasoning.
Okay, let me put it this way. Imagine I tell you, Lucille says you're wrong. You ask, who's Lucille? I say, a friend of mine who is always right. End of discussion. Would you accept that?
But today, we're dealing with people who claim to know the mind of God.
And that's the problem. If someone says, God told me this is right, how are the rest of us supposed to engage with that? We don't have their direct line to God, so they need to explain why their belief is correct in terms the rest of us can understand. They can't just say, God said so. That's not enough.
Okay, let's make this real. Suppose I'm a Muslim and I tell you, Surah 5, verse 44 says apostates should be put to death. This is my holy scripture, and I believe it to be true. What do you say to me?
I'd say, the fact that it's in your scripture is an interesting historical fact, but it doesn't determine whether it's right.
But for me, as a believer, it does settle the issue.
Well, then we have a serious problem. Because if someone refuses to engage in moral reasoning, if they just play the faith card, then they're admitting that they can't defend their position. The truth is, we've let faith trump reason for too long, and it's being abused worldwide. And let's be honest, nobody really believes that faith alone settles everything. If someone today argued that their religion requires burning witches, we wouldn't say, well, that's their faith. We'd say, that's barbaric.
But historically, even the Catholic Church executed heretics.
Exactly. But they learned. They evolved. And I think we should not be afraid to say to the Muslim world, wake up. We made this mistake, too, but we don't do it anymore. It's time to move forward.
Do you think faith alone should justify beliefs, or must reason always be part of the conversation? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions.